For years, I was an information junkie, always buying new courses, reading more books, watching more videos, taking endless notes on things that ultimately didn't really matter. And when AI came around, things got way crazier because I was always seeking new information, always on the hunt because my dopamine levels had been rewired to the point where I needed the novelty. I was drowning in information. And the thing is, as it turns out, 99% of people these days are dealing with the same exact problem. Sure, it seems like a good thing that we have accessibility to all this information at our fingertips 24/7. But as it turns out, the constant influx of new information actually has a negative impact on the way your brain functions on a day-to-day basis. So, with all that said, in today's video, we'll be discussing the 3-step framework I follow every single day before endlessly consuming new information, even if it's for something that is beneficial for me. Let's begin. Before we dive into the 3-step framework, let's discuss how the brain works and the negative impact of endlessly consuming more information has on the way your mind operates. Your mind is essentially a supercomputer. It's always taking in new information, making sense of it, storing memories, and assessing what's happening around you to determine the best course of action. But it can only handle so much. The thing is, your conscious mind can only process in between about 50 and 120 bits per second. Whereas if you've watched any of my other videos, then you know the unconscious mind, which is much more powerful, can process billions of bits of information per second. Knowing this, it means that most of the things you perceive and most of the things you think you're learning on a daily basis are actually forgotten like that, so quickly. And as you continue to scroll the social media feed, as you continue to watch more videos, as you continue to click from article to article, you're not actually remembering anything. You're perceiving the information through your eyes and whatever other senses you're using, but the understanding isn't truly there because you're always switching from one to the next to the next. And as a result, your conscious mind forgets what it is you learned. However, there's a twist. Despite the fact that your conscious mind doesn't remember it, doesn't know how to make sense of it, that information is still up here somewhere in a file cabinet, up in a vault, taking up space. Constantly learning new things before applying existing knowledge to solve your problems is a huge mistake because, 1, you're more likely to forget the existing knowledge. 2, you'll find new problems to stress about as a result of learning new things. Here's an example to really drive this point home. Imagine you have a bicycle that needs fixing. So you bring it to your garage or your shed or your workshop looking to see what's wrong with it. You figure out what's wrong with the bike and you know exactly what tool you need to use. You know that you have the tool to fix this somewhere within your shed or your workshop, but it's so messy. You have clutter everywhere. And because of this, you can't even move around your workshop looking for that right tool, despite the fact that you know deep down that tool is somewhere within the shed. So you go online and you order another version of the same tool that you already have. Now, your mind works the same exact way. If you're always learning new information, if you're always consuming new content over and over and over, then it makes it so that the existing knowledge you have in your mind can never come out and be put to good use. You're just flooding yourself with more input without using what you already have to create output. And this, my friend, is what I like to call cognitive overload, aka a gigantic mental mess. Of course, I'm not telling you to stop learning new things. I'm not telling you to stop using social media. No, that's stupid. You should always be learning new things, and given the fact that social media can be so useful, there's no sense in fully quitting it. That's idiotic. But Here's my take on it. You must be strategically selective about when and what you consume. Before you pick up another book, watch another video, or dive into a new framework, force yourself to look back on and squeeze every drop of value from the knowledge already rattling around in your head. And when you do this, something wild happens. Your existing knowledge starts connecting in ways it never could before. You notice cool patterns and potential solutions become so obvious. You realize that most problems you're experiencing right now don't need new information to solve. They need applied thinking. So in following this approach, in looking back on your existing knowledge and trying to make connections as to how what you know can apply to your current situation, you are encouraging neuroplasticity within your brain. You are becoming a more effective creative problem solver. You are becoming a more critical thinker. And when you channel all that mental energy to reflecting on existing knowledge and solving your problems, you're much more likely to actually see legitimate changes in your life with whatever it is you're doing. Of course, as I said, you don't want to stop learning completely. That's stupid. But here's the 3-part framework I follow before consuming new information for a problem I'm trying to solve. Phase 1 of this 3-part system is the problem assessment. Most people jump straight into researching before they even fully understand what the hell the problem is that they're dealing with in that very moment. They get so overwhelmed with the situation and they figure, all right, well, you know what? I just got to look up everything I can. I need to learn about this and learn about that. And what if this happens or what if that happens? I need to know about that. When in reality, you are creating this unnecessary anxiety and ultimately mental chaos for yourself. And this leads to hours of productive learning sessions where you think you're being useful, you think you're being smart by consuming more information about said problem, when in reality you're just wasting time. Start by asking yourself this one simple question. What exactly am I trying to solve or understand? So phase 2 of this 3-part system is the knowledge audit. You'd be shocked at how often the answers you're looking for are already sitting in your head. There's a very good chance that you've already learned from somebody what to do. Maybe you've seen a video, maybe you have a personal experience you went through, but you're simply forgetting about it because the anxiety of the problem you're dealing with right now is so overwhelming that you feel this compulsion to keep learning new things in order to solve it. Now, of course, this happens to us all, but before you anxiously go pursuing more knowledge for whatever the topic is, you need to ask yourself, what do I already know about this topic? Take out a piece of paper, open up a Google Doc, Microsoft Word document, whatever. Write down in bullet points everything you know about the topic. Your perspectives, the perspectives of other people, books you've read related to it, videos you've seen. Get all the information there from what you've already learned. In doing so, you'll realize that instead of wasting hours searching for new information, you can simply just tap into what you already know. It just takes a bit of reflection. I know this sounds so stupidly simple, but very few people actually do this. So phase 3 of this 3-part system is the connection bridge. This is something I love doing, where you take knowledge about a slightly unrelated topic and you try to see how it can connect to the current problem you're facing. For example, I know a lot about sleep. And recently I was in the gym. I was doing overhead shoulder press and I was just feeling really weak that day. I couldn't do the weight I usually do, and I had intentions on doing even more weight than what I usually do. But I'm thinking, okay, is it my form? Is my lower body weak? Is my core weak? Did I not eat enough food before I came? What is it? Why am I struggling to put up this weight that I typically do? And then I thought about it. I'm like, okay, well, before I look up stuff about improving my form for overhead shoulder press, before I begin thinking about all the specifics and the intricacies of weightlifting, let me look on sleep. And I realized that day that, hey, I only slept for about 5.5, 6 hours the night before. So it's no wonder why I was having such a hard time lifting the weight I usually do. I was low energy. And that was me making the connection between my knowledge of sleep and my current problem in the weight room. So you can ask yourself, how can I combine 2 to 3 things I already know to approach this problem differently? It's very likely that you have existing knowledge somewhere, whether it's exactly about that problem, whether it's about something else, or whether it's from a personal experience you had in the past that can directly influence your situation right now. It just takes a willingness to sit down, pause, and reflect on what you already know. Slow down. Stop rushing. Stop getting anxious about things you could possibly do to solve this problem. Stop stressing about learning new things and watching more videos and reading more books. Yeah, sure. That can be great. There's definitely utility in learning new things. But in many cases, you already have the answers. It's just a matter of tapping into them in order to solve the problems you're facing right now. So, I'll wrap it up there. This is a bit of a different video, but I wanted to put something out there about learning because learning is fun, to me at least, and so is problem solving. But given the fact that we're faced with so many unique problems on a daily basis and information is so abundant, I felt like this was a worthwhile video. If you enjoyed this, be sure to like, comment down below if any of this resonates with you. Share it with somebody who is also an information junkie. As I mentioned before, I used to be. And also I have a free 3-day focus challenge below in the description. So if you're somebody who struggles to pay attention for long periods of time, you struggle to focus, and you want to do meaningful deep work that aligns with your interest, your career, and your skills, then give it a shot. Alrighty, I'll see you.